Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome at the Sharing and Reuse Conference 2017 in the very beautiful city of Lisbon. May I please welcome on stage and give a very warm applause for the Director-General of the DG for Informatics of the European Commission, Ms. Gertrud Ingestad.
Good morning, everybody. Great to see you all here. It's such a pleasure for me to open this conference. Dear Minister, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Europe today is at a special stage. We're changing, we're choosing roads, actually. We're looking forward to how we want to cooperate in the future, what Europe is going to look like in the future. The Commission has drafted and issued a white paper on 5 options. How much are we going to cooperate? How fast are we going in this cooperation? And it's now up to Europe to choose. What is Europe? Europe is its citizens. It's also its businesses. And it's also its administrations, public administrations. Public administrations account for 25% of employment in the European Union, and a bit less than 50% of the GDP. It's a huge part. So what do citizens want out of Europe? They want to have no-hassle administration. They want to be able to trust government. And they want to be able to enjoy and use their free rights as citizens, and the 4 freedoms. What do businesses need? They need to be competitive, they need to be efficient, they need to be able to offer their services and activities across borders without obstacles. And what do administrations then need to do? They need to be efficient, very efficient, transparent, and need to operate in a seamless fashion across borders, across domains, across sectors, and with all citizens. And this requires a lot to achieve all this. But the examples are many and very clear. For example, in Denmark, the savings per year for full electronic handling of invoices is 90 million euro. That's a big amount for public administration. In France, the rollout of e-invoicing in the public sector and its suppliers is leading to a significant decrease of costs compared to the traditional billing process. The total yearly savings are about 700 million euros. So what does this mean for Europe, all these needs? Well, it needs interoperability. It needs seamless electronic communications across all borders. And to do that, we need sharing and reuse. So here we come back to our theme for the day. This is very important. This is one of the most important instruments we have to achieve interoperability and to achieve a digital single market across Europe. Digital single market. This is about all that I've been saying so far. We have a strategy in Europe for a digital single market. The digital single market recognizes that interoperability is one of the cornerstones. It's one of the underlying conditions for the seamless electronic commerce and activities across Europe. And for example, another 2 examples, 92% of Estonians use their electronic identification card, with more than 95% of the tax statements submitted online and more than 2.8 million total productive hours saved in 2014 by the use of e-services. In Norway, 80,000 invoices are handled electronically every month. These are very good examples of a seamless electronic community. Under the ISA² program, the Interoperability Solutions for administrations, businesses and citizens, the Commission has led the work on revising the European Interoperability Framework that was adopted last week. This EIF, the framework, is a toolbox that helps public administrations procure, provide, design online services in an interoperable fashion. How do you get to the How do you get to the true interoperability across administrations? And it's very concrete. We are going for concrete now, because this is a paradigm shift that needs really concrete action and help. And EIF has as one of the cornerstones and key principles reusability and sharing. And that's why we have also issued a reusability and sharing framework with guiding principles. What are the problems that we are trying to solve to achieve true sharing and reusing? Well, we have organizational barriers. The IT infrastructure is often fragmented in administrations, and the business models do not allow for sharing. They do not include sharing and reuse as one of the fundamental principles. We have legal barriers. There is certainty about the limitations of IPRs, for example, and also requirements are not often considered early enough in policy making to make sure that the IT solutions can be interoperable. We have technical barriers. Often our delivery models for IT is fragmented and old-fashioned. We're still quite traditional. I'm speaking also from experience because we are fighting the same issues in the European Commission, which is a quite traditional organization, although we're trying to do something about that. We have also the communication barriers. We have a lack of awareness of IT solutions and how they can be used in serving common needs. So to help administrations overcome these barriers, we have issued exactly the sharing and reuse framework for IT solutions. Although it doesn't only concern IT solutions, this is an organizational issue, it's a culture issue. It's about how we cooperate. The sharing and reuse framework has been developed to help decision makers, legal professionals, IT architects, IT developers, and communication experts. And it has clear recommendations, like the EIF, the European Interoperability Framework. It is very concrete. It has been made to really help administrations on reusing existing software, on sharing software after it has been developed, on reusing existing IT services, on sharing provisions of IT services, and on collaborating on the development of a software or an IT service. These recommendations are useful throughout the IT solution lifecycle, from inception to delivery and implementation and maintenance. So, what can we do? The business models that we are using is the fundament. That's setting the culture, it's setting the atmosphere, it's setting the trend. And there are many good examples of how member states are using different models, business models for delivery of their services now. And we will see many successful examples of that today, which I'm very happy for. The Commission is also doing its bit. We have the Join Up platform, where we share open source solutions, interoperability solutions, everything we're doing inside the Commission, but also asking all member states' administrations who have solutions to put them on Join Up so that others can share. This should be the reference, could be the reference, this community. The services, digital services that are also implemented under the Connecting Europe Facility framework are open source and they are on Join Up. They are freely shareable and downloadable from Join Up. And as I said, many of the member states also now have business models that include sharing and reuse as one of the fundamentals. And this needs to increase. So therefore, I would like to invite all public administrations today to join the Join Up community, to share and reuse across Europe. So, to conclude my opening of this conference, sharing an IT solution needs to become the default approach in the public sector. This is actually recommendation number 10 in the sharing and reuse framework. It says an IT solution shall be shared by default unless there are specific reasons, and these reasons need to be explained. It's one of the very concrete recommendations in the sharing and reuse framework. Today we see this cultural shift. towards sharing. We see it in the Commission, we see it among the member states in the public administrations, in the conferences we have, in the discussions we have, in the examples that member states are bringing to our meetings and conferences. We have excellent examples of this today among the contributions to the Sharing and Reuse Awards. And we are very happy to see some of them presented here today. We have large-scale solutions coming top-down. We have small-scale solutions coming from individuals going upwards. We also have municipal solutions that can be scaled up to national level. So we have everything. We're also very happy that this conference takes place in Portugal, which is very advanced in its own culture and business model around sharing and reuse of IT solutions. And we have many good examples that we have already discussed with our hosts. LabX is one of them. The user VID is one of them, and the Cadastre. So, sorry, that is for the awards, but the Simplex, the citizen cards, and the LabX is something that we're discussing with with our colleagues here in Portugal. So we will have the opportunity now to hear more about Portugal's achievements, and this is from the Minister, Mrs. Maria Manuel Leitão Marques. And then she is Minister of the Presidency and of Administrative Modernization, and also from Mr. Pedro Dias, who is the CEO of the Administrative Modernization Agency. So once again, thanks to all of you for being here today, and do use the opportunity to network for future sharing and reuse. With that, I would like to welcome up on stage the Minister, Mrs. Maria Manuel Leitão Marques. Thank you.